Hello, my fellow hooligans. What is up? It is Nix here for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to spend money. I meant my bad. How to clone Digimon perfectly. And a little website that's helped me a lot was seeing if I screwed up some of my Digimon already. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is showing you how you can check to see if you screwed up a clone or if your Digimon is perfect. So to do that, we're going to look over here at the Digimon Information tab, and you can see here that this one is perfect cloned to level 15 already with attack for Bagramon. So how do I know, though, that it's perfect clone, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the base stat, the first one, which says 410. That's my base attack. So now what I'm going to do is I'll have the link to this website in the description, but here you can choose your clone type, right? So we know the first stat is attack, and then I'm going to check, and I'm going to put that it's level 15. Base value is 410, right? So with a perfect clone, I should be at 590.4. So when I look here at my attack, I am at 590, which the 0.4 isn't going to show because it only shows you whole numbers or integers. But basically, it's 590.4 is where my attack is at right now. Now, again, it could be off by about 1 point or 2 points. So sometimes you'll see that it's not exactly accurate. The attack always comes out accurate, but the ones that are a little more tricky is the crit rate, the block, and evasion, because now you're dealing with percentages as opposed to a flat stat. HP is also easy to determine. But that's a really, really helpful website that I've been using to double-check all of my clones and see if I screwed up anywhere. Sometimes you'll clone and not realize that you made a mistake. So if you see, for instance, that it's not perfect cloned, it doesn't tell you which step of the way you screwed up. You won't really know until you go back a couple levels and see at which level. For every single level that you go backwards, you'll have to check to see, hey, did I fix it or is it still screwed up? Unfortunately, that's the only way to check it would be to, degrade every evolution until you get to the right one where you're perfect statted. But that's a really, really helpful website to figuring out what's perfect cloned and what's not. I don't think a lot of people know about how powerful this website is, but having a calculator to figure out if your Digimon is perfect cloned is so vital. To being able to have a strong unit. So I highly recommend this website. I will have it in the comments section below so that you guys can go ahead and use it as well. But here it even explains the attack stat, the perfect clone, so it shows you what to look for on the side here. This website is amazing. It has everything on it. So guys, highly recommend it. It's very accurate. And I'm so grateful to the person who made this, so shout out to them. I don't know who did it, but thank you. You are a god. And I appreciate you. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about now how to clone and what types of clone items there are and how to go about each and every single different typing. Now, I'm all for usually stealing other people's content and just snagging those pictures and posting them on here on a video, but unfortunately, nobody had made a chart of DigiClone that would be worth using for this video. So instead of stealing content, I now have to make my own. And I spent about, 2 hours working on creating this chart that you're about to see. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because I make original content that nobody else has created before. Anyways, let's get back to that chart. Alrighty, so here is the chart that I've created. This has all of the information you'll need to clone. You could always go back to this at any time. This literally has everything on it. I've tried to think of everything that you need to know. There's only one thing that's not included on here, which I will talk about in the video, which is Mega Clone and why it's pretty much useless. So let's start with the clone types. So there's 5 different types of clone. There's D clone, C clone, B clone, A clone, and S clone. Those are the 5 different types of clone. Now, each of them has 3 levels you have to get by. As you can see here in the chart, it's colored. So 3 green is D clone, 3 blue is C clone, 3 purple is B clone, 3 red is A clone, and 3 yellow is S clone. This is how many of the clones you'll need to get through each level, or what type of clone you'll need to get to the next level. So for instance, the first 3 levels are going to be D clone, then 4 through 6 is C clone, 7 through 9 is B clone, 10 through 12 is A clone, and 13 through 15 is S clone. So that's how that works for the ranks. here's the percentages for it. So D clone has a 90% chance of success. C clone has a 50% chance of success. B clone has only a 25% chance of success. A clone has an 18% chance. And S clone has a 15% chance of success. So remember, you have to get S clone to level 15. So that means you have a 15% chance of each to get to the next level. Now, also, depending on which clone you're on, so which level you're on, you have a chance to drop your rank. So let's say you're at rank 4 right now, and you use the C clone to try to get to 5. Well, it winds up failing, and you drop. So what happens if you're at level 4, you tried to proceed to level 5, and you drop? Well, you go back to 3. So now you have to use another C clone to try to get to level 4, and so on and so forth. From 1 through 3, you have a 0% chance of dropping, so do not waste your backup discs, which we're going to talk about shortly, on levels 1 through 3. You do not need to waste them. I personally don't even waste them up till level 6. Once I hit about level 7, that's when I start using my backup discs. Now, what are backup discs? Well, backup discs are discs that prevent the digiclone from going backwards. So it prevents you from dropping back to a previous level. So for instance, if you're cloning a level 7 to try to get to level 8, right? You want to use a backup disc. That prevents it. So in a normal chance, if you fail, you would have normally had a 40% chance to drop, which now is a 0% chance because you used the backup disc. So this is how a lot of us in the end game get to the higher levels. Now, what's the difference between regular clone, mega clone, reinforced clone, and mega reinforced clone? Well, that's simple. So these right here you see are just regular clone. They don't have any title next to them. It's just clone, okay? Well, digiclone to be exact. All right, so these are pretty much useless. If you get these, you can use them, but let me explain to you why it's not advised or why they're not really that useful. So, D clone, C clone, B clone, A clone, S clone, you can do the method of ranking up and then resetting backwards using a reset capsule, which a reset capsule will decrease the selected stat by 1. So let's say if you clone to level 2, and it's not perfect, you see that you got a low roll, right? Now you know you have to use a reset capsule to bring it back to level 1 so you could try again to get the max stat with these regular clones. Now this was how cloning was before reinforced clone even came out. And yes, it was a pain in the butt. Now, our clone didn't go up to level 15 where it's practically impossible to get it to go up and your chance of dropping is extremely high. We only had up to level 12 at that time before reinforced clone came out. But it was still a nightmare when all we could do was clone and reset capsules. It was the only method to really clone Digimon, and it was a nightmare. So when reinforced clone came out, it was a beautiful thing. And at first, they actually did this amazing event where it dropped for every Digimon you kill, it actually dropped reinforced clone. Insane event. It was with Joymax before it switched to Game King. But anyways, going back to this chart, once reinforced clone came out, it basically made regular clone almost useless. Now, the reason for that is because reset capsules, the only way to get reset capsules in the game currently is through events and through the cash shop. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to spend money if I don't have to on cloning. So I really don't like this method. So if you have reset capsules that you want to try to use, go ahead and do it. But if not, don't even waste your time with it. It does also cost money every single time you clone it. It's about like 10 M, I believe, to clone a Digimon. So, you know, reset capsules don't really... It's just more expensive. It's not worth it, and you have to actually pay real cash to get anywhere with it. Now, for the first couple levels, you could probably get away with doing a regular clone, so that part is fine. But once you start getting to B rank, A rank, and S rank, you don't want to be using regular clone. It's too much of a pain. And yes, regular clone's easy to farm, but the reset capsules, again, you only get from events or the cash shop, so you don't get it for free. Now, backup discs, on the other hand, you actually have a plethora of options to get them. So let me show you where you can get them from. So here's where you can get backup discs. You have Holy Artifacts, Mega Box, Giga Box, Crackadevimon, Super Crackadevimon, Datamon Treasure Box, and Datamon Treasure Box Hero. So normal hero of Datamon, which you could do daily, you get passes for. Crackadevimon, which you get passes for daily. The Mega Box and the Giga Box, I think those are from doing the Devimon raids. Yeah, the Devimon raid bosses that spawn every few hours. And Holy Artifacts, which is from the Holy raids. these are how you could get backup discs every single day. So there is a way in the game for free to get backup discs and farm it, and you can farm it daily. Now, also, the events that they have a chance to give you backup discs, as well as option change stones, number change stones, and a few other options. Usually every month there's some sort of daily quest that you can do from the event that has a chance to give you backup discs. So they give away backup discs regularly on top of the other dungeons that you can do. So it's a fairly free-to-play friendly item. And it's very important for cloning. You will need a lot of backup discs to clone properly. So with that being said, now we've talked about regular clone. We haven't talked about mega clone yet. So let's get into why mega clone is useless. It's the same reason why regular clone is useless. Reset capsules are very hard to get. Now, mega clone is kind of deceiving though, because it makes you think, oh, mega clone, that means it's going to perfect clone. No. Mega clone just means that it has a 100% chance to succeed in cloning. It does not mean it will clone your Digimon to max stat. So that is why it is useless. It is not guaranteed to give you the highest stat possible for that particular level. So you will still have to use the reset capsules to get it back a level. It's just going to guarantee succeed the cloning. So that's why I find it useless, and I don't recommend using it. I recommend sticking to, for the most part, as much as you can, reinforced clone and mega reinforced clone. Now, let's talk about reinforced clone next. So reinforced clone is the exciting one, the one that you should be trying to farm for every week with Gankumon's training, whenever you have Digimon that you need to clone up. This is very important, and it's basically the only way that I find efficient to clone. Not to mention any of the reinforced clone you use, I believe it's only 1M to clone as opposed to 10M, so it's cheaper to clone as well. Now, reinforced clone, which is available to get, is guaranteed max stat of each clone. However, it does not guarantee a success in cloning. So what this means is that you can still fail the cloning. You still have this drop chance that applies. But you have a chance of perfect stats. So this is what most people use to clone their Digimon. So what that means is if I'm level 3 and I'm cloning to level 4, and I'm using my reinforced clone, I have a 20% chance... No, I'm sorry. I have a 50% chance to succeed in the clone. And when I do, it will be guaranteed max stat for each clone. Now, again, you could check the website just to make sure that you're doing everything correctly. Make sure your Digimon's perfect cloned up to the point that it is already, etc., etc. But this is how cloning works. This is how most people do cloning and invest in it. Now, Mega Reinforced Clone is the best clone in the game. Mega Reinforced Clone means that it is guaranteed perfect stat, and it is guaranteed to be, succeed. So it has a 100% chance to succeed, and it's guaranteed perfect stat. Now, I usually save these Mega Reinforced Clones for the last stage of each step. The reason for that is, as you go up in the steps, I've noticed it seems like there's, you don't want to get unlucky with the clone. So as you go higher and higher and higher, you want that last one to be the successful one. Just personally, it's a personal thing, but I'd rather wait until the last one and then get it right than be struggling with the last one when I got the earlier ones successful. Now, it doesn't really matter as far as success chance, though. As you can see, just each of the clones has its own success chance. But just a personal thing, I prefer to save the Mega Reinforced Clones for the final step to get them boosted up. That's pretty much all you need to know about cloning, though. So the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like to clone in an actual video format versus it just being here in a picture, like what cloning actually looks like when you're using it inside the machine. Which, by the way, to clone, you have to go speak with Richard Sampson, and that's where you can clone. But we're going to get into that now. So that pretty much, again, I'll have this chart available in my Discord server under resources for Digimon. You'll have this table of contents. You can also take a picture of it right now while you're watching the video. Again, subscribe and like the video if it's helping. I know cloning is probably one of the most complicated things in the game to get a grasp on. But once you get the hang of it, it gets really easy. And you're going to clone a lot of Digimon, so you really get used to it quick. Yeah, let's get into the actual video showcasing, though, what all this theory looks like in-game now. So here we are, we're in game. We're going to go inside Data Center with Richard Sampson. We're going to hit start. And now we can place our clone inside. So here you see when I hit DigiClone, it's going to show up a regular clone. And it shows you the 8 to 10% value. So if we clone it, see I failed here. And again, that goes into that, stat of what the DigiClone is going to be. Again, we're going to clone again. And then here you can see we succeeded, but I only got 9.40%. This is using regular clone, by the way. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to throw a reset capsule in here because I didn't get the perfect clone. So this resets the stat backwards, and I'm going to go ahead and try again now with the clone. That is how you basically do the reinforced clone versus regular clone. That was a regular clone. Here's a reinforced clone. So I'm showing you what it looks like to reinforce clone. You can see that the max stat is possible. I used the backup disk as well, but here you can see I failed, but because of the backup disk, it didn't drop me back. So we're going to do that again. I have another reinforced clone. I'm going to throw a backup disk in there. I'm going to click one of the cards. Now I succeeded, but as you can see, when I succeeded, I got the max stat possible, which was 132. This is why reinforced clone is better than regular clone. We're going to do it one more time with a backup disk. And boom, we succeeded. We got very lucky. So this is why reinforced clone is so much better than regular clone, because with regular clone, as you saw, I had to use a reset capsule to reset the value. Well, with the reinforced clone, I was able to just max stat it, and if it failed, and whatever, and I had a backup disk, so it didn't matter. So that's pretty much it in game. That's all there really is to it. Reset capsules, reinforced clone, regular clone. I know it's confusing, but you'll get the hang of it if you keep practicing. Let's go ahead and go to the outro now. Alrighty, guys. So that pretty much concludes the video. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me on my Discord server and subscribe to the channel. And you can feel free to comment down below as well. Let me know what's your favorite Digimon that you fully perfect cloned in the comments section below, because I'd love to hear it from you guys. And also share how hard it was to clone it and how much money you had to spend. If you did it for free, kudos. Here's a cookie. Let's be honest, nobody does it for free. It's so expensive. It's so hard.